Hello, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, and ladies are of course welcome to benefit from this wise words of wisdom gained through hard experience. The subject of this video is, why are women overseas? And by overseas I mostly mean countries of Latin America, certain parts of Asia, and certainly certain parts of Europe. Why are they so much more attractive, feminine, and desirable than women in America and Canada and certain countries of Western Europe? The short answer is economics. The second answer is divorce laws of the West. Now, the men who have not traveled overseas, by overseas I mean out of USA and Canada into the countries that I just mentioned, they may not be able to relate to this. If you have nothing to compare it to, then how would you know? But if you have traveled to South America, if you have traveled to certain parts of Asia and Europe, of course, you will see that Russia, Eastern Europe, you will see that women dress so much nicer on a daily basis. They attend to themselves more. They are more accommodating, and they're just more inviting and nice to be around than most American women. And this is by no means because they are inherently nicer than women in America. Not at all. Not at all. This is due to the fact that we as human beings are a product of our environment. You see, a typical woman in Eastern Europe and Latin America, her goal is to look her very best every day so that she'll be noticed by men and will basically be picked up and taken care of for the rest of her life. This is their goal. Their goal is not, even though some women in Eastern Europe get education because it's free, and Russia, and not anymore though, it used to be. They might have a couple of degrees, but still, believe me, their main goal is to be picked up by a man, by picked up meaning selected by a man to be taken care of. And they really would rather be a housewife, would rather be a woman that's taken care of, rather than some woman who's a career woman that goes after a job and her own career advancement. So their goal is to look them their very best 7 days a week, every day, all the time, so that they'll be noticed. If you go to Moscow, if you go to Kiev in Ukraine, if you go to any Eastern European capital, if you go to Buenos Aires, Santiago, Chile, any South American capital, you'll immediately notice as a man, and of course a woman, because women really check each other out to see what the competition is. You will notice these women that are dressed very skimpy, not whorish, skimpy, very classy, very, very, very sexy, high heels, uncomfortable shoes, tight pants, short skirts, low cut tops, hair's all done, makeup's all done, nails are all done, all the time, every day. And of course, if you're a man, you appreciate that, because us men are visual. We don't care, how much money a woman has or what kind of a job she has or anything else. The first thing we notice, first and foremost, is how good she looks and in what kind of a good shape she's in. And women in these countries are keenly aware of that. So they look their best, they put on their best efforts all the time, because it's not like, the opportunities are not like in the Western countries where women can have jobs that often get paid more than men. Don't buy for 1 second this BS about women getting paid less than men. These days, there are many women that make more money than men. And hence you hear these crazy terms like a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle, which these idiotic feminists say, and they don't even know what hell they're getting themselves into by going down that road. But that's another subject. And on a second note, there are no crazy idiotic divorce laws that we have in America and in Canada and in some parts of Western Europe and even Japan, where once a woman marries a man, the man is and they divorce. The man is forced to maintain her lifestyle from the time that they got married. Now, it doesn't matter if she was a hairdresser until she was 38 years old and she married somebody who's a multimillionaire for 5 years. As far as the courts are concerned, her lifestyle is that past 5 years and not the 38 years from the time she was born until she met the guy. Tell me how fair that is. But that is the laws, and more men are waking up to that fact, and this is why they know, the men that go to these countries that have the privilege of being able to travel overseas and get in touch with these women, they realize that they are so much more attractive. The women are so much more pleasant. They are so much more accommodating because of the situation. Now, many men, this is very important, many men make the cardinal mistake of going to these countries that I've mentioned, in Asia, in Eastern Europe, in South America. They are overwhelmed by how nice and accommodating and sweet these women are. And they say, well, she's so great, I'm going to marry her and bring her back home. Big mistake. Because as I said at the beginning of this video, this is all because they're a product of their environment. Those who have done that, not all of them, but I'd say 99.9% of the men who have made that foolish mistake of bringing these women back to their own country, they have learned the hard way that not only these women become just like the women that they ran away from to begin with, but they actually become worse. Because at least these women that are born and raised in the US and the West, this is nothing new to them. I mean, they're used to it. They're used to these opportunities, extra opportunities and advantages that they have. But these women that you bring from third world countries to the West, it's brand new opportunity for them. So they want to take maximum advantage of it. Do not make that mistake. If you're into marrying, which I'm against of, but if you're into marrying a woman, keep her over there, because reality is harsh. When they're over there, these women are on their best behavior, because they know that if they mess up, if they act up, you have countless other options. You can drop her and go with another woman in another 2 minutes. Whereas if you bring her in the West, she has all kinds of legal advantages over you, and you'll get yourself into the same hell that you ran away from to begin with. So the answer to the question is economics and divorce laws. It's because in those countries, women do not have the economic opportunities, the government support, all the things that women have here in the West. So they know they are dependent on a man to take care of them. And believe me, that works out in the long run for the man and for the woman. In the West, they have to fend off for themselves. They usually marry somebody, and after the honeymoon is over and there are kids in play, in the marriage, then the reality sets in, and over 55% are divorced. And most of the time, these women just end up dating, jumping from one man to the next until they're too old and too unattractive to be able to get any dates, and they just end up lonely with their pet and the bottle. It's harsh, but it's true. So there you have it, gentlemen, in a nutshell, without any kind of BS or extra fat. There you have the answer to the ultimate question: why women are so much more attractive and desirable overseas in third world countries. All the best. See more. See you in the next video.